Hello everyone, welcome back to the FTCR LP of DuckTales Remastered. Today we travel to the Himalayas and we're joined by the one and only Twixmix.
Heyo! I am Twixmix. Finally in one of these damn things.
We're headed for the Himalayas to hunt for the lost.
So, Twixmix, what is your experience then with the DuckTales game, both the original and the remaster?
I picked up the remastered when they had that Capcom sale last year with all the platformers, and I played it through, thought it was a fantastic game, loved it a lot. I've seen footage of the original DuckTales, but I actually didn't get to it until a couple weeks ago.
Interesting.
Indulge me, lads. The last thing this
How sad do you think Duckworth's life has to be that he's a dog, but his last name is Duckworth?
It's probably some identity crisis.
One thing I like that they added, every level starts with that kind of intro thing where they play the do 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 do, and you see Scrooge in the different vehicles that Launchpad takes him to the levels in. I like it. It's a nice little touch.
Be a nice screensaver.
Launchpad.
Would have been better if the plane looked exactly like the Tailspin plane.
Not in the center of a mountain.
No.
Oh, that would have been great.
Tailspins was a terrible show.
It was weak, even though I had... Okay, so I had a VHS for Rescue Rangers, I had a DuckTales VHS, and I had a Tailspin VHS, and I watched those until the tape tore.
I would just watch the rerun.
Why did they think giving Baloo a plane would be a good idea?
Oh no.
The same reason giving King Louie a tavern was a great idea?
Because they were drunk. Good job, Michael Eisner.
Genius work here.
You'll do no such thing.
Although, like, Launchpad McQuack is probably the most entertaining character.
That's why they brought him back for another show.
You know, I've always wondered why. Like, I'm not sure if it was just because they felt Darkwing Duck would work better with a pre-established character, but it was never made any sense to me why he was in Darkwing Duck.
And DuckTales at the same time.
Whoa!
I love the animation of Scrooge stuck in the snow.
I like how they add him, like, shivering in there, too. That's really cool. Because that is in the original NES.
Yeah, in the original NES, it's just his pain and, like, frame stuck in the snow.
Correct.
Until you jump out.
Yeah.
I also bet, like, these bunnies ain't doing jack shit to no one, you know? But Scrooge just comes in and slaughters them all.
Well, because, as you know, the bunny pelts are going to sell for an exceptional price on the market.
I just have this image in my mind of Scrooge McDuck being like that fucking jackass dentist. He goes to, like, Africa to, like, hunt lions and shit to sell the body.
That guy is a fucking asshole. Honestly, anyone that does big game hunting is a fucking asshole.
Yep. No arguments here.
Look, unless you're gonna eat the damn thing, don't hunt it.
Yep.
I hunt the damn thing. I hunt the damn goat for, like, its horn.
No.
Twix makes you part of the problem, you really are.
Me? Come on. Those horns are probably, like, you know, highly priced on the market.
So this level is, I actually think this is the level where it's easiest to get lost, or you have to do the most backtracking.
Yeah, I remember the first time I played through this level, I did backtrack quite a few times. So I was like, oh, back here again. Well,
They really made this the more difficult level in the whole game. It was already pretty difficult in that it's one of the levels where you're punished for just free bouncing all over the place because you get stuck in the snow. I mean, that goes back to even in the NES version. But in this version, to add that handicap of, you know, you can't just bounce wherever you want, you have to control when and where you bounce, but also to throw in more item searching and more backtracking. Yeah, I could see how that would end up turning this into not the worst, but just the weaker of all the levels for the remastered version.
I will say though, luckily, and again, we say this every time, but the when the Himalayas theme breaks down into that kind of like guitar riff, so fucking sexy, man. It sounds so good.
Well, I mean, the music
music
still
is
stays
cool.
on point.
Yeah. Although it's weird though, because as we said in part 1, for some reason, Jake Kaufman felt a need to remix in part of the Moon track in this level for some reason.
People love their Moon.
The
They
moon
love
is
it
so
too
godly
much.
that you have to remix it into every single level. That should be required.
No, Transylvania is the better music track.
Yep.
I like Transylvania. That's just me. Is it me or
And you
like
know-
do those duck enemies remind you of like the Mighty Ducks masks?
The Mighty Ducks cartoon, yes.
Because Disney just had to own the rights to every single Los Angeles sports team.
I forget what I'm doing here.
I was wondering that too. It's like, I mean, you're out of bounds, so congratulations. That's great and all, but unless you're gonna do
Well, see,
something
I-
to start falling through the rest of the level, I don't see a reason to keep doing this.
Well, see, the way I thought, because obviously most times when you can go up something, there's like lost treasure.
Yeah.
So I think when I was recording this, I was like, where's the treasure? Then I realized, oh no, the game just I'm not supposed to be up here.
Literally, the Scrooge McDuck mentality is like, well, I'm here. Where's the treasure?
Where's my free shit?
What's the treasure?
I would say like those kind of giant spider things are probably my most hated enemy in this game.
Yeah, in the NES
Because
version,
I've been killed by them so many times.
they're so much worse than the NES because they only crawl down when you get underneath them. So you have to fake them out by going underneath them, backing up, and then jumping on them once they lower their webs. I haven't actually played the remastered recently, so I can't remember exactly how they work in this version, but from what I can see in the footage, they're a bit more lenient on where the box, how close Scrooge has to stand by them in order for them to drop down. It's definitely a lot more lenient and wider, so, you know, it's not as tight of a maneuver to get the spiders to drop down.
Oh yeah,
It's still
definitely.
annoying
To
as
be
shit,
honest,
though.
actually, in terms of the remastered at least, I actually had an easier time with them in the Himalayas and the Amazon, but
Yeah. Because the other issue too is that you have ice floors, so and Scrooge is already pretty slippery in the NES version, but when they throw the ice, he will slip just halfway across the platform to his death.
oh my god, yes. It's pretty annoying. It's like, whoops, I'm slipping.
Ah, that background
Which is-
portrait is amazing!
I
Gorgeous!
know, again,
It's great.
again, as I said, it's hand painted by someone who worked on the show. Looks so good, man.
Love that guy.
You know, you just realize I have read a few things where some people felt that the 3D background don't mesh too well with the hand-drawn sprites, and to them I say, shut the fuck up. This game looks amazing.
It works just fine. Honestly, the 3D in the back just looks like it's doing a parallax. So, to people who say it's not meshing, it's like, have you played an SNES game recently? Probably not, because that's a stupid question.
The 3D 2D blend is one of my favorite things about this game. It just looks gorgeous. Look at that sexy background.
And you know, like as we said before, this was a relatively, a $15, relatively cheap download. I mean, obviously, not every game, but I think this certainly stands up against quite a few platformers of the, in this generation. And I'm doing it again. You can't go anywhere up there, you fucking idiot.
There's no treasure, Gareth. I'm sorry.
Past me! What the fuck are you doing? Get down there!
I want to take a moment though. So Scrooge's like blue jacket blends a little too well into the background here. Not that it really matters because he's very well defined in the foreground at least. But I do remember that being one of, because you did mention that they made a bunch of documentaries before the game came out about the development. I do remember that being one of the big, like apparently it was a huge issue for them, was Scrooge McDuck's model. Because what they wanted to do was they wanted to make sure that they were respectful to the original model with his red jacket, which is more in line with the comics, but I think it was more of a graphic limitation. And they needed to transition from that sprite that looks a little janky to obviously the more gorgeous remastered sprite with the blue jacket with a more practical pose, and trying to transition all of his frame animations with that too. And they did a lot of work, and they went through like 5 Scrooges before they settled on the one that went in the game. They put a lot of work.
This is very impressive for like one model.
Because to me, I mean, this may be ignorant, but I just assumed they just took his original animation model and just like animated to that.
No, because that was the thing. They couldn't just do a 1-to-1. They had to update him, and as you can see, throw in the little, like, he has idle animation. He breathes. As you can see, he nods a bit back and forth.
And it's so fluid. Especially when he's ducking, like the idle animation is so fluid of him like shaking his ass in the air. It's amazing.
Yeah. So they put I honestly think that, well, when the game's level layouts are pretty much set up for me from the get-go, and the only thing you have to change is all you're really changing is why the characters are going, or why the player is going through the level. You can tell that with level design pretty much taken care of from the get-go, they were able to devote that manpower into the models and the sprites and the music. So pretty much all the stuff that people really compliment them on, you could tell that was the stuff that they actually worked really hard on, so it makes sense that it's really good.
You know, maybe you actually bring up a good point. Do you think that if say, let's say the NES game wasn't around and say WayForward just wanted to make a DuckTales game, do you think then the game would be as polished if they had to spend more time working on level design?
Probably not. I really think they would have cut back on... I would probably say that the animation would still be there, probably wouldn't be as fluid. We would be missing like every other frame or so of animation on these. Like I said, I don't want to discredit WayForward and say that they're hacks and this game is only good because it's a remake. I'm just saying that you can tell where the manpower went, and it shows, and it's usually the things that this game gets complimented on. And I still believe that if this was just a DuckTales game that didn't have all the pre-made stuff, that it would still be a good game. It'd probably still be the same quality of game, actually. It would just be complemented for different things.
Yeah, I sped this up just because, again, at that point I missed that thing, so I just backtracked the fuck out of it.
Oh, you forgot
It's the
Bubba!
part where you meet
I forgot the Bubba Duck.
Bubba Duck.
Which, you know what, I forget, because I know for a fact he's in DuckTales 2. But it's been a while since I played the original. Is he in DuckTales 1?
He is in the original DuckTales 1.
Okay. Because I know he was a character they introduced in the second season.
Yes, in the cartoon, he's in the original game, he's in the Himalayas. You free him by bouncing on a block of ice.
Yeah, Bubba's a very, he's very divided. I think people either love him or hate him. There's not a lot of in between.
Really? Because
I really like Bubba.
he feels harmless. Like, he's just another one of Scrooge's myriad of adopted nephews. It's probably just because people don't know that Scrooge has millions of adopted nieces and nephews around the world, so they just figure, oh, he's an add-on character. It's like, that's what Scrooge does. He finds kids that he think are pretty cool, and he adopts them.
He runs his own niece-nephew agency.
No, he basically does.
Abandoned, I'll take you in. I'll take you in.
Well, you have to prove yourself, too. He doesn't just take any riffraff off the street.
I'm
To
like,
be top
dude,
tier
Bubba. It's like Bubba can clearly hold his own with Huey, Dewey, and Louie Kong. Bring this kid around with you, Scrooge.
I know. Instead, you got...
Look at him.
Bring him into the new series that they're making.
Yeah, oh yeah, we should talk about that. So at this point, no lot's known. It's premiering in 2017.
They only revealed a
Apparently
picture.
Which, you know what? Because originally they said the series was going to be CG, but I'm hoping because that picture they released has more of an art style it kind of looks more like the original Carl Banks comics. So I'm kind of hoping, and like Scrooge has his original red jacket and Donald's in it in the picture. So I'm hoping they're going more of a for a stylized hand-drawn look rather than CG, because most of Disney's CG shows look like pretty bad.
They're garbage.
Like House of Mouse looks like a piece of shit. You think with all the money Disney has, they could put more effort into their animation.
Disney, just give all your animation shows to Alec Hurst and just have him go wild with it.
Gravity Falls, praise.
There is a
I
Gravity
haven't seen it, but I've
Gravity
heard
Falls
it's good.
hole in my Gravity Falls heart now that show is over. Okay, you don't
I'm
understand.
sad. I am so disappointed.
I've never seen it, but all I ever hear is good things.
We're
about
gonna
watch it.
marathon it, Gareth. We are going to watch all of it, and I'm going to have you look for all of the secret codes and all of the secret messages in every episode.
The only thing I know isn't there like kind of like secret thing where they linked Gravity Falls and Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In one
I've seen that,
episode,
that's
a
funny.
notepad and a pencil go to a teleporter, and then in a Rick and Morty episode, a notepad and a pencil come out of a teleporter. But that is by far the most benign. Once you start seeing like the hidden messages and the cryptographs that guy has stuffed in every single episode.
They're both great shows.
Where is my Rick and Morty show game? Oh wait, there already is. It's Pocket Morty.
I've not gotten the chance to go to play Pocket Morty yet.
There you go, Launchpad.
It's okay. I mean, I haven't played. I think Smoothie's played it a bunch.
Well, of
It's
course,
pretty
Movies
good.
has played it.
This order, do it. Now there's your
Webby!
Webby.
Webberdale, what in the world are you doing here?
It's all your fault again.
Hey, she can. Like
It's
I
always
said,
your fault.
Webigail is badass. She can handle her own. She's cool.
As MBM said, she's from the streets, girl.
She's
She's straight out of Duckton.
Badass
Shit.
duck.
We're ready
Straight
for
out of
the
Duckburg.
song, Mr. McD.
Straight out of
A
Duck.
moment too soon. Strap in tight, Webby dear.
Now this section entirely invented
Clear as a bell.
for the game.
Not a cloud
Yes.
in sight.
The only
Yeah, because
like
this
it.
wasn't in the original, wasn't it?
Infernal chatter.
no.
Nope.
No.
The only launchpad section was in the Amazon, and it was literally just launchpad flying back and forth for like 6 tiles. You jumped on the rope, and then you jumped off.
No worries, Mr. McD.
Yeah, I mean it's because like in this point they introduce, as we're about to see in a moment. I forget MBM. What's his actual name? Flintheart Glumgold.
Flintheart
Flintheart
Glumgold.
Glumgold.
Yep.
Yeah. So in the original NES game, he just turns up before the final boss. But like in the remastered, they make him more of a antagonist throughout the game. In the cartoon and the comic books, Flintheart Glumgold is the world's second richest duck,
He-
and because of that, he
Yeah, second richest, and he is Scrooge's nemesis. Like, he's the big bad. The cartoon kind of spreads out who's actual Scrooge's big bad. The Beagle Boys show up in more episodes than any other bad guy, but that's just because there's so many of them and they're pretty benign.
the Beagle Boys. Well, see, the Beagle Boys are just dumb muscle. It's like Glumgold is kind of like the Lex Luthor of the series. Like he may not be the most immediately threatening, but he's Scrooge's arch nemesis.
Yep. The thing that's really, really interesting about Glumgold is that he is actually South African.
Yep.
But the thing is that, yes, in the comics, he is a South African duck. I don't know if he has Scottish heritage, but he's from South Africa. But what happened was when the cartoons came around, that was around the 90s. So what happened was during that time, Africa was dealing with
Oh, yeah, that whole
apartheid and all of the
apartheid
political
situation.
unrest involving the segregation. So what happened was Glumgold's nationality was changed from South African to Scottish, so that he was from the same country as McDuck.
Yeah.
However,
The more
I
you
don't
know.
I don't know if he was changed also in the comics, so I always just assume, like, even though it was changed for the cartoons, I like to believe that Glumgold's still South African in all the continuities. He just has the Scottish accent.
Take us down, Launchpad.
Fence.
Slow and steady this time.
One thing I want to bring up, we talked about it in Transylvania, where in the NES version, there was a alternate music track. In the if anyone downloaded the soundtrack, the RIP soundtrack for DuckTales Remastered, there was a second version of the Himalayas. It's practically the exact same theme, only before they get to the kind of like guitar section, instead of going straight into kind of like the keyboard synth, it's kind of like acoustic guitars instead. So I think it actually sounds a lot cooler.
Huh. You know what I'd like to see they'd incorporate into the theme? Windpipes. Or like a panpipe.
That would have been cool.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Also, Bubba, what are you doing?
You.
You
Being Bubba.
blessed child, you. What are you doing?
Baba Smash!
Again, Bubba voiced by Frank Welker. Anything that man touches turns to fucking gold.
This level is still going on. Holy shit. This level is longer than the original game.
It just never ends. Just like Chicago winters.
Every frame is so dense. There's so much in it.
So dense. DuckTales Remastered, directed by George Lucas.
If only. If only.
See, this
No,
boss
this-
fight is also really gorgeous too.
I know. Yeah, I would say this is probably the closest to the original. I think.
Well, yeah, just jumping around, dropping blocks, boss fight, done.
Just drop 3 and you're done.
So, we haven't talked too much. What do you think about the soundtrack and how the game controls?
I thought the control for this game was pretty smooth. Obviously, when I played the NES version a couple weeks ago, I'm like, of course it's slippery, but the soundtrack is great. I'm totally in love with it.
Yep.
Just praise. Kaufman, why are you a fucking genius? The man is, seriously. He's great.
I want a Chip and Dale remastered just so we can get a NBM Zone J, a Dave Kaufman remake. How good would that be?
Oh,
Oh.
give it to me now.
Oh, Kaufman. Oh.
You know,
Was it more
what's weird?
music?
I always thought the animation of the Yeti punching the wall, I just it looks kind of stiff.
It looks like it came out of a
Wait.
video game. Gross.
Well, I'm just saying because you would expect the arms to move more on the Yeti, but the arms are stationary and the fists are just moving forward and backwards. You know. See, if this game would have had just one more week of production, we could have gotten more fluid arms for the Yeti.
We also could have gotten more offensive lines put in the code.
OMG, what the fuck is this shit?
OMG.
So I know this, DuckTales is a pretty progressive game. 2 out of the 5 main bosses are female.
Good. Oh, wait, not good. Wait, which is less good? I'm so confused.
DuckTales
That's
is
it,
breaking barriers.
I'm going in the
Well,
corner
see-
checking
see,
my privilege
Scrooge,
now.
Scrooge McDuck is truly for equality. Man or woman, if you try and take his money, he will beat the shit out of you. That's some good subtitling that was. Rah, rah, rah.
Sure, she's
Where did-
sorry.
Where did she find a thorn in the Himalayas? It's above the tree line.
It's Disney, don't question it.
I'm questioning all I want.
The lost crown of Genghis Khan.
Oh, okay. The
Ooh,
thorn
lost
was a
crown.
crown.
Yay.
I always thought it's weird that this game references Genghis Khan as a real person.
And they didn't
It's like-
turn it into
so
like
what-
a duck pond.
Genghis Quack.
Yeah, something like that.
Quack is Kong. Or Quack is Quack.
Quack is quack. How would anyone know that's meant to be Genghis?
It's like the Smurf language. They just know.
Well, that's odd. Actually, it's me the ladies go gaga for.
Well, let's get home before she grows any fonder of me.
Any- You- Are you okay, Dick?
I think I broke her.
Fine.
Damn, Jesus Christ, we broke her.
So sorry.
Um,
I'm smurfing
Want
sorry
my money
there.
back. You broke me. Give me your gold, Scrooge.
so, so as about the end, if you maybe just wanted Twix, maybe just to sum up then your thoughts of the overall game and where people can find you on the interwebs.
DuckTales Remastered is fantastic. You should go pick it up on the eShop. I picked it up for like $5, and we'll probably get it for more money. Ha ha ha. I don't have a YouTube channel, but you can follow me on Twitter at TwixMix96.
I do it because she sometimes tweets about Puerto Rican food.
That shit's delicious, you know.
Fuck yeah.
Right you are, Webby
I do it
darling.
because 95% of her
Now,
tweets
where's
are
Bubba
just
run off
bad
to?
memes. That's what I love
Yes,
Twitter.
please follow me for puns and aesthetics and memes.
Everything you... Yeah, so as you said, how do you rank the aesthetics of this game then, Twix?
Okay, this game has like nice aesthetic. I call it like duck
Like-
aesthetic.
Like,
Like Disney afternoon, late 80s, early 90s aesthetic.
Kindness and patience, Abigail.
Is it, would you say it's on point, as the kids these days say?
They say on
shall we
fleek.
look for next?
That's the one. See, I'm sure I can't even keep up with the new lingo you damn kids use these days.
it's 100% emoji.
This game is swag yellow on fleek, fresh.
I think
Damn,
she just had a
Scrooge,
stroke.
back at it again with the cane.
Ah, You know what? When you say things like that, Twix, it makes me comfortable with the fact that in a million years the sun would explode and take out everything that's ever lived ever. And the fact that those expressions are real makes me comfortable with the fact that again in a million years all human life as we know it will just cease to exist. Have a good day.